You're not lazy. You're not broken. Something is quietly destroying your focus every single day, and you don't even notice it happening. Picture this. You sit down at your desk with a clear plan. 10 minutes pass, and somehow you're scrolling your phone without remembering deciding to pick it up. 20 minutes pass, and you've forgotten what the plan even was. You close your laptop, tell yourself you'll try again tomorrow, and the cycle repeats. Maybe it happened again yesterday. Maybe it's happening again right now, and you almost didn't notice. You start blaming your willpower. You tell yourself you just need more discipline, more coffee, more motivation. But willpower was never the problem. 3 specific habits are, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which ones are yours. The first one is the notification reflex. Every buzz, every red dot, every little vibration trains your brain to expect a tiny reward every few minutes. Think about it. Somewhere along the way, checking your phone became as automatic as breathing. You don't decide to do it anymore. Your hand just moves. And here's the damage. Once your brain gets used to constant, tiny rewards, it starts treating silence as uncomfortable. Real focus requires sitting in that silence. It requires being bored for a moment, without immediately reaching for relief. So the moment a task gets even slightly boring, your hand is already reaching for your phone before your brain even asked it to. Here's a small example. Say you sit down to write a single email. 30 seconds in, before you've even finished the first sentence, your phone buzzes. You glance at it. Just for a second, you tell yourself. 5 minutes later, you're 3 videos deep into something you don't even remember opening, and the email is still sitting there, 1 sentence long, exactly where you left it. That's not a lack of discipline. That's a brain that has been trained, 1 notification at a time, to treat stillness as a problem that needs to be solved immediately. But this isn't even the most damaging habit on this list. The second is task switching disguised as multitasking. You think having 5 tabs open makes you efficient. It doesn't. Every single switch between tasks cost your brain nearly 20 minutes to fully refocus back to where it was. Not seconds, minutes, nearly 20 of them, every single time you jump from one thing to another. Do the math. If you switch tasks even 6 times in a day, checking messages, glancing at a spreadsheet, replying to a comment, opening a new tab, you've silently lost close to 2 hours you didn't even feel disappear. 2 hours, gone, without a single moment of it feeling like waste. It doesn't feel like wasted time in the moment, because you're doing something. Your inbox is technically getting shorter. Your tabs are technically getting closed. But busy and productive are 2 completely different things, and your brain, quietly exhausted from all that switching, can't always tell you the difference in real time. Here's the part that makes this one especially sneaky. Multitasking feels like momentum. It feels like progress. But underneath that feeling, your focus is being sliced into smaller and smaller pieces, until none of them are big enough to actually finish anything meaningful. And there's a third habit, the one almost nobody talks about, and it might be the biggest one of all. Starting without deciding what done looks like. When you sit down to work on the project, without deciding exactly what finishing looks like today, your brain treats the task as endless, and endless things feel exhausting before you even begin. This is why some tasks feel impossible to start, even ones that aren't objectively hard. It's not the task itself weighing you down. It's the fact that your brain has no finish line to run toward, so it treats the whole thing like an open-ended chore with no edges. Compare, "I'll work on my resume," to "I'll finish the experience section by 6 p.m. Read those 2 sentences back to yourself. One feels heavy before you even open the laptop. It stretches out in your mind with no clear stopping point. The other feels doable, because your brain can actually picture the moment it ends. This single shift, from vague intention to a clear finish line, is often the difference between a task that gets started today and one that quietly slides into next week and then the week after that. Here's what ties all 3 of these together, and it's the part most people miss completely. None of these are about discipline. Not one. They're about your brain protecting its limited energy, the only way it knows how, by avoiding discomfort, avoiding overload, and avoiding tasks that feel like they have no end. Which means the fix was never try harder. Trying harder against a brain that's working exactly as designed almost never wins. The fix is removing the friction before it even has a chance to start. Smaller tasks, fewer tabs, phones out of reach, not out of willpower, clear endings instead of vague intentions. None of this requires becoming a different person. It just requires making the easy path and the productive path the same path, so your brain doesn't have to fight itself just to get moving. Which one of these three hit you the hardest? Comment the number below. I read every single one, and I want to know which habit is quietly running your day.